So in this video, I'm going to reveal to you two new leaked anticipated Harley models that are fairly interesting. I also want to touch on a couple other models and some interesting things going on at Harley. So the interesting thing is images of these two new models first appeared in documents released to Harley investors. Now since then, Harley-Davidson has actually filed design patents with the European Union Intellectual Property Office. So we have a good idea what these bikes are going to be all about. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Urlacher here, lawabidingbiker.com. I always thank you, that's right, you, for checking back in. So everyone's probably aware by now that Harley has really been striving to reach a broader customer base. It's super important for their future existence. So back in July 2018, they announced their More Roads to Harley strategy. Oh, and if you haven't already, you really should get up to speed. Check out my video on Harley CEO Matthew Levatich quitting and the current state of the motor company. I'll pop a card on the screen and I'll put a link in the description below. So we've all seen Harley trying to be innovative with the late 2019 announcement of the Pan America adventure bike and of course, the Bronx Streetfighter. Now both of these bikes are supposed to go into production later this year. So I'm personally most excited about their first adventure bike, which is the Pan America. Now my fear is when it's released, it's going to be too expensive for most riders, kind of in line with when they released their first electric bike, the Livewire. So let's dive into these two new leaked and anticipated Harley models. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon. Every time those are hit, another biker joins the revolution. We would love to have you be part of it. This is one of the largest online biker communities around. So just a real quick recap. Images of these bikes first appeared in documents released to Harley investors in late September 2019. Now since then, Harley has actually filed design patents with the European Union Intellectual Property Office, so it gives us a good idea about what these bikes are going to be all about. So we know that the Pan America and the Bronx are both going to sport the new Revolution Max engine, and it seems that engine is also going to be carried over into the two new models that we're going to talk about. And just as a quick reminder that the More Roads to Harley strategy also detailed that the Revolution Max motor is going to end up in 5 Streetfighter models, 5 custom bikes, and 2 adventure models. So it's definitely interesting times as we watch Harley make this pivot. Now I know some of you like the bikes, some of you don't. Of course, I like some of them, I don't like some of them, but most importantly is what you all think out there. So I'm curious about your thoughts and opinions. So join the awesome community here, be part of it, and leave your comments below. So the first leak model is a flat tracker. So I'll start by saying this new bike seems to be loosely modeled off the XG750R flat tracker. Now if you take a look, this can be seen in the shape of the tank, of course the seat, and the 2 stacked exhaust pipes on the right side. So looking closely, it appears the script on the air cleaner housing reads 975, indicating that it's the same engine used in the Bronx Streetfighter. That means a claimed 115 horsepower and 70 pound-feet. So it's also worth noting that there is a 145 horsepower, 90 pound-feet, 1250cc version of the Revolution Max motor, and the two externally are identical. So it would be really easy for Harley to slide this motor in instead, but we'll see. Heck, maybe the bike will come with 2 displacement options. So this new flat tracker chassis appears to be very similar to the Bronx with the same front forks, same Brembo front brakes, but the triangulated tubular swing arm is definitely different. So one of the things that really stands out on this flat tracker and I think looks pretty cool is the triangulated tubing that comes off the left side to situate the signals, the brake light, and the license plate. And I think that front square headlight looks pretty cool too. And I definitely think this would be a fun little bike, especially if it comes out in the 1250cc version. It would be a little ripper. Short range bike, of course. The second leaked model is a cafe racer. All right, real quick, we'll get right back into your video. A ton of man-hour, effort, and expenses go into keeping this YouTube channel going strong. There is a way you can support us by becoming a patron member. I will link to it in the description below. Essentially, you pledge a certain amount per piece of content that we release. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone, access to podcasts early, live video broadcasts and chat, access to those ride meetup events, and of course our premium videos. And we appreciate you considering supporting us. It assures we can continue our mission to help educate, entertain, and inspire as many bikers as we can worldwide. All right, let's get back into your video. So this new cafe racer also seems to be based on the 975 Revolution Max from the Bronx. However, like I said, they could easily slide that 1250cc version in there, and heck, maybe we'll get 2 displacement options out of this model too. And it's also worth noting that this cafe racer model is likely to appear later this year as a 2021 model. So the chassis on the cafe racer, of course, very similar to the Bronx, and the flat tracker has the same front suspension and brakes, but it looks like it gets a very simple straight swing arm design. Now, unlike the Bronx that uses a rising rate monoshock, they decided to use the more traditional twin shocks on the rear of this bike. So this new cafe racer, definitely a new arena for Harley-Davidson, and although it's very much a cafe racer look, in my opinion, it also does a nice job at maintaining a Harley-Davidson flair. And another notable thing on the cafe racer is the small minimal nose cowl that looks very similar to my Dyna Lowrider S. And finishing up, the gas tank has a hint of Sportster, and the seat looks like that on an XR 1200. And this too would be a fun little bike to rip around on. Of course, another short range bike. So there's another bike I want to talk to you about real quick, and there's actually some limited information about it on the Harley-Davidson website. At this time, it's called the Future Custom model, and it's planned for 2021. It's listed as a 1200cc liquid cooled engine. So on the Harley website, they describe this bike as, and I'll quote, the all new custom motorcycle with a muscular stance, aggressive stripped down styling, and 1250cc of pure performance. So if that piques your curiosity, head over and check it out. And those new bikes we just talked about is just the tip of the iceberg.
Iceberg, right ahead! Thank you.
In total, the More Roads to Harley strategy calls for 16 new liquid cool V twin middleweights in 3 ranges. And that's 2 Pan America adventure bikes, 9 Streetfighter standard models, and 5 custom designs. And on top of that, Harley plans on releasing at least 1 small displacement parallel twin machine. It's a 338cc in partnership with that same Chinese company. And of course, Harley's other big push is electric bikes, and between 2 and 5 electric models will be launched for 2021-2022. And the most interesting to me is the new middleweight electric bike with the dirt tracker looks. It's called the EDT 600R in Harley investor documents. And it looks like that bike will take its technology from the Livewire and bring it to a larger audience at a more affordable price. We hope. And how fun would that little bike be? All right, let me know your thoughts on all this craziness. I'm going to pop a couple cards on the screen. One of them will definitely be my motorcycle documentary films. I encourage you, check them out before you leave the channel.
Taking over the universe when I'm using words. Every time I do the work, I be leaving them stupid hurt. You was right, I'm going crazy when I do the verse, but it do not matter. Mad Hatter, I'm feeling like Uzi Vert. Little shoulder shake.